Yeah, wait for it, though. Wait for it. Boom. I think we're live, Shane. Once again, welcome in. Let's make sure people can hear us first. That's always a first test, because we're never quite sure if anybody can actually hear us. So we're going to wait to someone say, got a ton of people in the comments.
Yep. Just one.
I'm waiting for just one, Shane.
One quality control here.
Yep.
So I can open up this twisted tea.
I'm looking at you, Hog Wild.
Come on now.
I'm pretty sure we're live, but maybe not, because no one's saying anything.
Acknowledge our presence.
You're good. Okay, thank you, Sasquatchy. All right. Whoa.
Premature. Sorry.
Premature. Hold on there. Welcome in the latest episode of That SEC Podcast, brought to you by Twisted Tea, as Shane already let you know, and my bookie. I'm your host, Michael Bratton. I go by SEC Mike on Twitter. And I'm over here with my cousin Shane, goes by Big Orange Vols.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the wait is finally over. We're doing it. SEC football, 2 games tonight, brother.
Yes, two games. I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous for that Gator fans, Mizzou fans get to watch football before everyone else, So, and those that are listening in the morning, obviously, we don't know the outcome of that game just yet. But let me ask you before we get started, Mike, who's more nervous?
Yeah.
Florida Gator fans or Brady Cook's family?
Ooh, I'm gonna say Florida fans.
Florida fans. Okay.
Well, I don't know, because they're like uber confident. It doesn't seem like there's any doubt in their mind that they're gonna kick the shit out of Utah.
Yeah.
And well, we've already put it out there. We're both picking Florida, so
yeah,
we're confident too. But that was my Honda Morristown. Yours was fairly close as well. So. Yeah, I got to go Florida fans. What about you?
I'm a little nervous, but I'm going, believe it or not, Brady's family. I think everyone's been itching for Sam. They want to see what he's got. And given an opportunity, it may be one of those situations he never looks back. So obviously, I don't think that's going to be a threat. It's still going to be an exciting, fun game to watch. Kudos to Drink with the pirate shirt on earlier, like that.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I think there's a reason he should be nervous and looking over his shoulder, because everything we're hearing out of camp is that Sam's looking pretty damn good. So can't wait to see them both in action.
LSU sports fanatic Shane says you and Billy Napier share a barber.
Absolutely. I think Billy, don't quote me on this, but I heard, was it him or Lee, doesn't really need to shave, but they do anyway.
I think that was Lee.
Lee, yeah.
Yeah,
it seems like a Lee thing. Billy has to shave then, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
we got Gator Josh already chiming in 27-13. He's picking the Gators to beat Utah, of course.
27-13.
Gator Josh out there. So maybe they're not nervous. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's Brady's family.
I'll tell you what, Gator Josh has been studying this damn elevation.
He knows it better than us.
Yeah, that's right, man. So he knows exactly what's going on. So I think it's going to be a great game regardless. I can't wait to watch them both.
I got breaking news here.
Yeah.
I got to apologize, Shane.
No, please don't.
Because last time we disrespected this guy and he got very upset. Let's throw it up on the screen.
Paul Feinbaum?
Jay Dalton.
Oh, Jay Dalton.
Utah, 24. Florida, 20. So he's a big ball homer, of course.
He's never going to pick the Florida Gators. So.
Yeah. So.
Oh man.
Well,
what are you looking for? We're going to get into all the games this Saturday, and we kind of already previewed the matchups that are going to go on here at 8:00. Is there anything that you're in particular looking for tonight? I mean, obviously. The easy answers are just wins and everybody staying healthy and shit like that. But is there something like that you're thinking like, man, I want to get this answer tonight with Florida Gators, or I want to get this answer tonight with Mizzou?
How about hot take? Right? Well, I don't know if it's a hot take, but I'll answer that question. But Billy Derrick, Vandy Sports, he's been on the show. Remember Media Days? Hot take. He called it a hot take, so we can call it a hot take. Hot take. Cam Rising, Utah quarterback's going to play tonight. I don't know what information he's got, but what if they came like an Undertaker type?
That wouldn't be cool.
They came out with the you know, what was it? The Feinbaum came in and he busted out
casket.
of the casket.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. Zip line in from the mountains there. Yeah. No,
but all right, sorry. To answer your question, what am I most well, I don't think anything that happened. I'm excited to watch Missouri.
right.
But I don't think anything we learn from that is going to that's not going to I don't know. There's not going to be a lot of takeaways from that because they're supposed to beat this. Hell, you said 52-0.
Yeah.
If they win 34-0, it's a little disappointing. But I'm not going to read too much in it one way or another. But I think it's Florida.
Yeah.
Because they've got some momentum now. They've got hype. They got the fans believing. I think it has to be Graham Mertz. Yeah. And not that he's got to be an amazing quarterback, but he just can't cost them the game.
Right.
What if he comes out here and throws a couple picks?
Yeah.
They're cooked.
Right.
You know what I mean? He does not got to win them the game, but he can't lose it for them.
Okay.
And if he can't handle Utah, no disrespect to Utah, the SEC is going to eat his ass alive.
Yeah.
And I think the rest of the SEC thinks that's exactly what will happen. The rest of the SEC is going to eat him alive.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's so wild, isn't it? Florida Gators, just half of us think that they've been disrespected and that they're sleeping on them. And then the other half are like, man, they'll be lucky to get 4 wins. And it's kind of crazy playing a team like Utah. You're going to know up front just how far these guys are going to be able to make it in the SEC, I would think. So true measure stick.
Good comment here from Patrick Shane. Cousin Shane looking good and slimming down in that black. He says you should upgrade, get you some red, and drop the Tennessee orange.
We discussed this, man, on the opposite. But I wanted to wear the Mizzou. You know, I'm representing. I got the key to the town now, so I'm in their hype videos. I figured I'd give them a little love tonight. But yeah, that's definitely why I'm wearing black. But
man, a lot of Florida love in the mentions. A lot of Florida mentions.
Well, they should be excited. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a matchup, man.
Yeah. All right. So we got SEC football, brother. Make predictions. We got tons of predictions here, and I'm going to open one up because we got actual football. We're going to have football here in a little bit, so I'm pre-gaming myself.
I had to break it to for some reason, I failed to tell my wife that there's football games on tonight. You know, and apparently she thought we had like a couple more nights.
Nope.
No, it's football time. You know, I was like, I'll see you later. You know, so yeah, I may be on the couch when I get home, but it's a price I'm willing to pay because we've been waiting so long for college football and we got 2 games tonight. You know, not one game. Wait for another week. We got 2 games, and then it's followed by a few more on Saturday, so I'm pumped up.
Well, there's a couch right there for you, brother, that you're sitting on. You can sleep on that. But hey, one quick thing before we make these, when we get to our picks.
Yeah.
Because there was a little bit of breaking news. I don't think this changes our picks by any means, but a little bit of bad news for Florida. You know, there's been a lot of bad news for Utah on the injury front. Now there's some for Florida. Their starting center, Kingsley Ugamokun, he's the only returning starter on the offensive line. He is not going to play.
Ooh.
So that's a little bit of a blow. Again, I don't think a starting center is going to make us change our opinion, but you know, that's the bread and butter of what they want to be. So that's something, you know, signals, calling the offensive line and all that. So that's just something to monitor here in a couple hours when the Gators take on Utah.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Center is like, I mean, it's the quarterback up front, and you know, it's not like other linemen. Sometimes you can just replace them, but of course you can't even do that anymore with these systems. But yeah, it's a tough blow.
Ooh, wait, we got one here. They paid us $10, Shane. Checking in from Atlanta, Avery. Appreciate you, Avery. Could someone please tell me what the hell does Shane do for a living? I think it's going to cost more than $10 to get into
modeling, you know, big and tall, casual male, you know. Did a little hand modeling for one time, but no.
All right, Shane, picks here.
Yeah,
and I'm usually how we do it. And I think I just enjoy doing it this way. We go by the kickoff times.
Yeah.
So we're doing Saturday's action here, and I can already tell in the mentions are going to be pissed, Shane. But the first kickoff, believe it or not, it's involved, Shane. So we got to start with Tennessee. They get mad even when we mention Tennessee. But Number 12, Tennessee versus Virginia in Nashville, Nissan Stadium. Sold out. Tennessee favored by 28 points, according to my bookie. The over-under, 56 points. Again, noon Eastern, 11 Central, nationally televised, Shane, ABC. Right. Joe Tessitore, friend of the show.
Absolutely.
Big time. Well, that's a story for a different day, but we love Joe Tess. Jesse Palmer on the call, 81 degrees. I got some stats for you here, Shane. Heupel, 5-0 in season openers. Pretty damn good. Pretty good. Virginia, though, 6 season openers in a row they've won.
Yeah.
I don't know who the hell they played, but that's true. And how about this? I didn't realize this, Shane. Tennessee projects 10 senior starters on defense, 9 senior starters on offense. So this is an incredibly veteran team going into this matchup. Tennessee outscores opponents 331 to 123 in the first quarter under Josh Heupel. So bet the Vols first quarter if you can get it.
Yeah.
That's one of the best bets on the entire board. Meanwhile, Virginia, they returned 8 starters on the defensive side of the ball, including the entire defensive line, and they averaged 3 sacks per game. That was 12th highest in the country. They gave up just 10 passing touchdowns last year. And they only played 10 games, so you got to throw that caveat. But 1 touchdown allowed per game passing. So this is a quality Virginia defense, but they do got 39 new scholarship players. And Shane, their punter, he was the starter for Monmouth. I never even heard of Monmouth last year, but that's where Virginia's at right now. So
the fact we got to mention the punter that we'll probably see 8 times during this game. Yeah, brother. I mean,
wait. I'm sorry. Did I say punter? I meant quarterback.
Quarterback punter.
Well, I got something cooking for the punter, but you go ahead.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there's a stat for that. All right, brother. I'm going to tell you right now. We've been waiting a long time over here in Knoxville for a new season, I guess you would say regime. I mean, when you got Joe, I mean, the reins got handed over. We got to see a little bit of it last year, and there's plenty of doubters out there that think he's not the guy. There's even some in Tennessee camp that saying, hey, well, it doesn't matter. We got Nico, and you're going to hear that Nico talk all year long. But I don't know, man. I think this is a game that Heupel wants to put the naysayers at rest, and that's terrible for a team like Virginia. You know, team captain. I don't know if you saw Derek Dooley used to play at Virginia. There's that jersey's been floating around.
Yeah.
But, you know, the fact of the matter is Virginia is not a good ball club. Virginia has a lot of holes in their program. And where do they got the holes mainly? Where Tennessee loves to excel. Expect a high-flying game just like usual. And I think that's going to be the motto here for Heupel and company is let's get on them early and often.
Yeah.
So I expect if you're doing any gambling, like you said, first quarter bets, first half bets, those are the ones I'm really leaning in on because I expect them to jump out early and maybe have a 5-6 touchdown lead. I know that sounds crazy, but that's Tennessee Vols. So I won't beat around the bush, Mike. I do think Virginia gets a little creative in the second half. Not going to make this interesting, but they may make that gambling line a little bit more interesting. But I still like Tennessee 56, Virginia 20. 49 of those points come in the first half.
Ooh, yeah.
Nico gets 1 touchdown. Then
now
the controversy kicks back in.
That's what I was going to ask you, Shane. Here's my only concern there.
Yeah.
With the spread, not with the results of the game, but what happens if they get out to a comfortable lead? You know, the spread again is like 28 points. And then what if Nico plays like the entire second half or the fourth quarter and he struggles? You open yourself open to a backdoor cover. That's basically the only thing I'm worried about here.
Yeah.
But I mean, how sad is it that we're sitting here saying, well, they may have to play the freshman, get him some reps, so that way Virginia can cover. Because I'm right there with you. And I apologize for saying the punter before, but I just wanted to get this stat out there, Shane. Daniel Sparks, remember the name, 8th in the country in punt average, and he's preseason all ACC for Virginia. They're going to need him on Saturday, brother. Remember that name, Daniel Sparks. He's going to be punting all night long. Tennessee 55, Virginia 17. So I think it's going to be even bigger blowout than you. Tennessee and the points. I was kind of waffling this week, and then this morning I was like, "Tail with that, Tennessee's going to whoop their ass." You know what?
Punter didn't even practice this week, anticipation how much they're going to use them on Saturday. So, no, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be good to see him back in action, and I love it, brother. Again, I do think we're gonna get some questions answered in this one, but like you said, you got Austin Peay right around the corner too, so it's not like Tennessee's going to be able to slow ramp their season. You know, don't put them to bed. Get a few scores in early, so you're not sweating it like Pitt last year or something. But do it early, and then all of a sudden you can get some of that youth in there. Not just Nico, you know, some of that young, especially defense. We've got a lot of young talent on that side. Get these guys some playing time. We're going to work out that competitive depth during games like this.
All right, next game, Shane. Ball State at Kentucky, another noon Eastern, 11 Central kickoff on SEC Network. How about this? Kentucky favored by 26.5 points. The over-under, 49 points. And I didn't realize this. Derek Mason, former Vanderbilt, he's in the booth now. He's calling this game. He's going to be the analyst with him and Dave Neal.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. Ball State, though, they lost to Tennessee last year, 59-10. Their quarterback, Lane Hatcher, he was at Alabama for a season, and they had a star running back, Carson Steele, but he transferred to UCLA. So they don't even got him. So I don't know much to hype up Ball State. What do you think? Kentucky hosting Ball State in the opener?
Been a while since we've seen Coach Mason. It'll be good to see him up in the booth for sure. Brother, this one here, obviously, I've got a little bit riding on this game. Can't have Ball State winning this thing or I get manscaped like crazy. But I will say I don't think it's going to happen. Beautiful thing about this Kentucky schedule is, I mean, if you look at it, it's ideal. It's perfect for a new quarterback. It's perfect for a new OC, even though he's been around here a few times. It's perfect for a new running back.
Yeah.
There's some pieces that Kentucky can work on against teams like Ball State. So I do have a little pause when it comes to the spread, because, again, there's going to be some kinks being worked out. But I have confidence in this defense. I have confidence in Stoops. I have confidence and a lot of the playmakers that are in Big Blue Nation there. So I've got Kentucky winning this one, 31, Ball State 13, which cuts that spread close.
Yeah.
So not Morristown Honda here, but I'm pausing on putting too much money on these guys, especially right out of the gate.
Right. And I think we would be a little bit more confident if we knew right out the gate that this offensive line was going to come out and be dominant like they were, the big blue wall. And again, that's not to say they won't be by the end of the season, but maybe the best example is LSU last year in the opener against Florida State. It was a train wreck. Yeah. By the end of the year, they're beating Alabama. That was a strength of the team. So it's going to take some time. They've got transfers. They got players in different positions playing in a new scheme. So I'm right there with you. I'm trying to think back to when Liam Cohen made his debut. We were hearing all this hype. We were hearing this hype about Will Levis. They came right out and they beat the shit out of whoever. It was like a program like this. So they may do that. And I'm not – this is not my lock of the week by any means. But I think Kentucky wins. I think they win comfortably. We almost have the same score. I'm going Kentucky 35, Ball State 13. Yeah. But it's interesting because there's so many new pieces. I think the defense will just shut down Ball State. Yeah. They're only getting these points maybe in the second half. But I'm just so fascinated to see Devin Leary and Ray Davis, but in those combined with those receivers. But as good as they perform, again, it's almost like the Missouri-South Dakota game where I don't think that'll tell us much. Yeah. But the offensive line will, because they struggled against pitiful teams last year. Right?
Name any program.
So they don't just looking really good on the offensive line will be a great indication for the rest of the season. So that's what I'm going to have my eye on more than anything else. Maybe even this Saturday because of the high hopes we have for Kentucky. It'll all go blow up in smoke if they don't have a good offensive line this fall.
Yeah, I'm looking for, that's a good point, man. And also I'm watching Leary. I want to see who he's going to because Kentucky has a lot of weapons and I don't know. When you get a new face in, sometimes a new relationship is established, and all of a sudden that receiver takes the next step. So they got a lot of talent on, especially in the wide receiver room. But who's his go-to? That's you'll know that in the first couple of drives.
Right. All right, Shane. So next one, we don't have point spread for this. So, I'm not going to nail you down to a score. But, again, we're going by just the kickoff times here.
Yeah.
Western Carolina at Arkansas. And this one's actually in Little Rock. They play annually in Little Rock. 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central on SEC Network, ESPN+. 86 degrees. That's the reason they changed the kickoff.
Hot as hell.
Yeah, so, they're going to beat the shit out of Western.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. But things that you're going to be looking for, and do you actually have a score to give us?
Of course I got a score.
Yeah.
And it kind of leads into what I'm looking for is this defense. I want to see just how big, bad, and ugly this defensive line is going to be. I want to see, does that secondary take the step forward that I expect it does? Because there is a little bit of quiet confidence coming out of Arkansas. We talked to several, and you could just kind of feel,
including Sam Pittman.
Yeah, not much on offense. I think this is going to be just go to work, get it done. Don't screw around. And let's get off the field because, like you mentioned, the heat. This game got moved because of the heat. Everybody's talking about the heat. So I would expect a lot of running in this game. So, I got a score. It's 35-0.
Oh,
so
baby.
The 0 is where I'm saying is what I want to see is the defense, and that's what they show me, a big old goose egg to start the season.
Yeah. And
Turn that damn jukebox up. They got one down there in Little Rock? I'm sure.
I'm sure they do, brother. But, it's interesting. I didn't think about it, but because they're saying it's so damn hot, it almost makes you wonder if they're going to try to just get the hell out of there.
That's what I'm thinking.
They're playing on artificial turf. Obviously, I don't want to mention, how many guys get injured last year, but that killed us.
Yeah.
So we got to get out of there injury-free, Western Carolina. But I'm so curious to see how KJ plays in this new system, what new wrinkles they bring out. And again, they'll probably keep it fairly vanilla because it is Western Carolina. But, I think this is going to be the Rocket Sanders day. I think he may have 150, maybe even close to 200 yards in the first half. And they're so deep at running back, I would not anticipate him even touching the ball in the second half because they won't need him. You know what?
Yeah, just get him out there. I think they hammer it. And, with that, I'm not going to say this every time, guys, I promise, but with the new clock rules, the first downs do not stop outside of, 2 minutes?
Right.
Or within 2 minutes is the only time it stops. So you're going to see a running clock. And with a team like Arkansas going a team like Western Kentucky or Western Carolina, that's what they're going to do. It may be 15-minute drive, and then all of a sudden the game's over,
Right.
So I expect something like that with Arkansas here.
And the Garden Hutch, appreciate you. He says the local sports book in Arkansas has got it at 34.5 is the spread. So
nailed it.
That's about right where we're at. And
they text me earlier this morning. They said, "What should we put it at? Because you're so good at gambling." I said, "Put it at 35."
So I'm going to go a little bit different than you. I don't quite see a shutout. I wish we did, but I don't have a complete confidence yet in this Arkansas defense till we see it improved. Arkansas 45, Western Carolina 7. So, still a blowout, right?
When do they get that one score? In the third quarter?
Yeah, maybe some kind of special teams, something.
Yeah,
or
I got you. A fake.
Yeah.
Some sort of stupid fake. And you're like, why are they? Yeah, I could do that. I get that.
All right, how about this one? Same deal, Shane. Mercer at number 22, Ole Miss, 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 Central on SEC Network and ESPN+, 79 degrees. Again, I don't have a line for this because Mercer is a FCS.
Yeah.
What you thinking for this one?
Well, don't forget top 20 FCS.
Yeah.
1-0 FC. These guys are undefeated right now.
Do you think in the press, Lane Kiffin after the game's gonna be like, we should get a ranked win for? He'll have some kind of smart ass comment.
I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. And there's no spread on this one, is there?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
No.
So. Watching that game last week, that's the only reason I watched it is because I knew Ole Miss was coming in town. But Mercer, even though they were quote unquote top 20, they struggled. They didn't just I don't even remember who they were playing, like Alabama A&M or something stupid like that. You know, it wasn't like any other team you've ever heard of, but they were sluggish. There was mistakes made, and you know, you wonder about that because you made mention about the Florida State game last year with LSU. They had that week 0 game, and maybe that helped them out. That may help Mercer here, so that's why I got them at least getting 7 points.
Ooh.
But Ole Miss, unfortunately, comes away with 49. I think here's my deal. I've got a bet. I can't remember. I had to look it up, but I think that we're going to come out strong on offense. We're going to put some. I don't know what's going on with the quarterback situation, but I feel like after this game, we won't have that controversy anymore hanging over us, or maybe Jackson Dart, because that's who I think it's going to be. But don't forget, this kicks off the Heisman race for my boy Judkins, and I'm expecting multiple touchdowns here because these are the games you pad your stats. These are the games that you don't think about it at the end of the year when you're showing 20-something touchdowns and whatever, how many thousand yards rushing. You know, this is the games and opportunities, and that's why I'm expecting a big offensive game from him.
And I'm sorry, what did you say for Mercer? How many points for them?
7.
7, okay.
Yeah, because they had that tune-up game last week, so they come out fire. This feels like one of those games that maybe they come out and score first, and you're like, oh, shit, Lane, you know, should have went to Auburn. and then all of a sudden they just turn the switch on. It's like, oh, wait, there's the Ole Miss we know.
Well, here's the thing, Shane. Pete Golding. Some people love him. Some people hate him. You know, they get mad at him for his failures at Alabama, and I get it. They really should be blaming Nick Saban, in my opinion, but they blame Pete Golding. But you know, I think that's the thing we'll learn in this matchup is how far this Ole Miss defense has come. New scheme, new coordinator. I get it. We want to highlight Judkins. We want to highlight the quarterbacks. They got some receivers, including Aiden Williams. Our guy Michael Katz wrote a big feature on him today, the true freshman. He's wearing the number 1 jersey. That's something they do not give out to freshmen. Right. But he's like of that caliber. They're saying an elite receiver. So all the attention is going to be on the offense, but my eyes are going to be completely on the defense and see how far they've come. I guess a team like Mercer, you'd think they dominate. I think they struggle, Shane. I think they struggle big time. So, well, considering the opponent. Top 20 FCS. I'm giving Mercer 20. I think they scored 20 points in this ball game, Shane. And Pete Golding, we got to fire Pete Golding. Alabama fans are going to be tweeting, this guy's a joke. Get it? We told you about Pete Golding. But you know what, Shane? It's not going to matter. Because Ole Miss is going to score 48. So 48-20, it's not going to quite be the blowout they want. But I think there's going to be some blown assignments. I bet you it's just a learning curve. And that's why you schedule a Mercer week 1. Right. Instead of Utah. So, you know what I mean? For Ole Miss. So it may take a couple of weeks. Get them going before the SEC play. I think Mercer has a little bit of success still. I'm saying they're going to win by 28 points.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how far you were talking about the Utah? I wonder how far out that game was booked, you know, because usually that's like 10 years out. And then you look 10 years back when Florida's like a good team. Not that they're not now. I'm not saying that, but you know what I'm saying? I thought about that when Tennessee played Oregon that one time. I was like, when we scheduled this, did Oregon suck? You know? Did we know they'd be a top 5 team, you know?
Hey, we got a off-the-wall question from Parker here, Shane.
Yeah.
Does Lane Kiffin leave halfway through the season if they lose 3 of their first 6 games?
No.
He's making $10 million. He just signed a No.
His leaving days are over. Lane. Now I don't know if he works out the entire contract at Ole Miss. I mean, there may be a day it comes up he gets an opportunity.
I would say he won't, but he just signed like I can't remember the details, but it's like an 8-year deal.
But he won't walk out there in the middle.
But his daughter just enrolled, and apparently that's huge to him. So I think he's there for the next 4, as long as he doesn't blow it by then. Yeah, no scandals. You never know with him. You know what?
Keep an eye on that dog. See where he's at. It's funny. I see a Lane Kiffin, like everybody's doing these videos, and then all of a sudden I see a Lane Kiffin deep sea fishing video. I'm like, are you like working? Right. But I don't know if he took that like 2 weeks ago and he's just missing it there at the office and where it's 150 degrees in Mississippi,
He's still holding the resentment. Yeah. I got you. All right, next game, Shane. UMass at Auburn. Hugh Freeze. Debut, freeze alert down on the plains. Over under. Excuse me. Auburn favored by 35.
Yeah.
Over under 51.5. 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central, and this is nationally televised by ESPN. So this is a big matchup, Shane. Everybody's curious to see what old Hugh does. 81 degrees. Who you got in the ball game? And before you make your pick, Shane.
Yeah.
UMass. I think I said this the other day. 9-1 against the spread versus the SEC since 2012. Nine straight covers, and including last year against A&M. So I don't know. I don't want to sway your opinion, but there you go.
This one right here, and I'm going to go ahead and my bookie lock it down.
Oh.
And it's nothing against you, Hugh. It's nothing against Auburn. But I feel an upset brewing. A lot of people didn't get to watch that UMass game last week.
Yeah.
You didn't know it, but there's old Clemson quarterback back there, and this kid is maybe not the most accurate guy out there, but he sure the hell can run the ball. And what gives me pause is this kid's going to have the ability to extend drives just by his gift in running. And I'm not saying Auburn loses this, so calm down. I ain't saying that just yet. But I do think that this is a tighter game than he would like for his first debut. We got a lot of moving pieces down there on the plains. We got a lot of new weapons, and we can only imagine what it looks like. We've got to practice with them, but when the lights come on, it's a different feel, brother. This is a 3:30 game. It's going to end up at 9. It's going to be beautiful down there. Seeing Auburn just bring it back. Jordan Hare is back. I think they'll be electric, but I think there's going to be some mistakes early in this game that's going to allow this UMass team to kind of hang in there for a little bit. So I just think 35 points, I believe, is the last time I checked.
35 point spread.
5 scores. That's too many for me. So give me Auburn 38. They win, but UMass 13.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. Lock it. Hey, lock it down, guys.
Man.
I'm basically printing money. Last week, sure, I was wrong. But this week, I'm due, and I feel it. Thank you, Hugh.
And doesn't it almost feel like there's too much hype with Auburn?
Yeah.
I mean, with they're saying, can we win 10? We beat Alabama, even though I said they would beat Alabama. Yeah. I'm guilty of it. But, you get all these new pieces. You get these transfers. You get excited.
Yeah.
It's an upgrade at every position. Mm-hmm. We're going to kick ass. We're going to whoop ass. It's a freeze alert. There's Hugh right there. He's madder than hell.
Yeah, he just found out.
But I'm not, again, like you, I'm not saying they suck. But there's struggles. There's generally struggles.
Yeah.
With first year. Hell, Brian Kelly last year. They won the West. They struggled out the gate.
Right.
Kirby Smart struggled out the gate. Nick Saban Josh Heupel. I mean, I can go on and on and on. A lot of great coaches that have gone on to great things. They don't just come flying out, elite. And it'd be different if this was like, again, I'm not trying to discredit anything Kirby's done. I've said many times I think he's the top coach in the game. But he inherited a very successful program from Mark Richt.
Yeah.
And even he struggled.
Right.
And this is completely different. They had to fire the last guy because he sucked.
Yeah.
And he did a poor job of roster management, poor job of recruiting, poor job of development. And yet Hugh Freeze is coming in there, taking it over with all this hype.
Yep.
I don't see it, brother. I think you're 100% right. It's not my lock. I'm glad we didn't lock up the same one because that would guarantee Auburn is going to whoop her ass. But I'm going upset special, Shane. Auburn 38, UMass 10 against the spread. Upset against the spread. But I just think, like you said, and I could be completely wrong, but I mean, I think this game could be even closer. Like we're going into the fourth quarter and it's like a 1-touchdown game.
Yeah.
And it's not because Auburn sucks and it's not because these players suck, but it's just, I mean, it could be a struggle. First time, new system, new players, new coaching staff. There's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of hype. They're getting patted on the back. You could be the spoilers of the SEC. I don't know. I don't know.
The expectations are so high on new coaches these days. And, you could thank people like Brian Kelly that came out and won, the SEC West last year. But they struggled during the first part of the season. It takes a while to make all this work. And to just blindly go in with a new quarterback that we just crowned and say, yeah, they're going to come out playing Hugh Freeze style offense, and they're going to put up 6-7 touchdowns.
Right.
I think that's what they want, but there are going to be mistakes. This game's not going to be as even Hugh came out and said, we've got one of the best running back rooms in the country. They're going to use it. They're going to run a lot during this game. That's why I expect more of a low scoring game here. So,
and the point being, Shane, again, we're not trying to sit here and shit on Auburn.
Yeah.
But they will be much better by the end of the year than the start. Yeah. That's the point we're trying to make. And again, I brought up the schedule real quick. Again, this is the back half, Shane. I'm not saying they're going to win all these, but they could win a bunch of them. Ole Miss at home, Mississippi State at home, at Vanderbilt, at Arkansas, New Mexico State, and Alabama. I bet you they win more than half of those.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you want. Yeah,
I can't believe we're still defending 4-score win. I mean, obviously it's not the 35 that they were promised, but yeah, you win by 4 scores. I don't think too many Auburn fans are going to be upset. Maybe they will be. It's pretty wins.
SEC.
I think what Auburn wants too is pretty win, man.
Yeah.
They want to see some of those big plays that they've not get to see in a long time, That's what, if we get little flashes of that during the game, doesn't matter what the score is, I think Auburn fans are going to be happy. But if we just eat through this thing, dink and dunk, and next thing you know, we're in a fourth quarter game, not going to be happy with that.
All right, how about this one, Shane? Next on the docket, Southeast Louisiana. I never even heard of that school. At Mississippi State, 4 Eastern, 3 Central, SEC and ESPN Network Plus. 80 degrees, nice, cool day. But there's one thing before we get these picks in. I've got to get this off my chest because the NCAA continues to show what a disgraceful organization they are. Today, if you missed it, one of their tight ends, Jaquarius Spivey, transferred from TCU.
Yeah.
Started his career at Mississippi State. Now he's back from TCU. He played for the team that went all the way to the championship. He transferred. He was informed he'll be eligible, no problems. Today they told him you're ineligible.
Why?
He says some academic advisor had him take some class or something, and it screwed up his transcripts. I think that's the story, but it doesn't matter the story.
Yeah.
Why the hell are we learning? Why is he learning that this week, game week, and not only that, but what the hell are we doing here, preventing this is not like some, not that it really makes a big difference, but, the guy that won the Heisman at Southern Cal.
Yeah.
If he transferred to Alabama this week, people would be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
This is a guy that started at Mississippi State. They need help, transfers in. I believe he's a graduate. I don't know what the hell we're doing here, but we need to abolish the NCAA. This is ridiculous.
It's stories like these. It's almost like they're grasping at straws, and just, hey, don't forget we still matter, and we'll show you by stealing playing time from a kid that, like you said, we've known has been approved, and then all of a sudden, game week, we're going to, pull the carpet out from under them. That doesn't make any sense, and it's stories like these is exactly why the NCAA won't be around. And it's just a matter of time.
Isn't it what they always say? We're here for the student athletes and all this. They're
not.
They're not at all.
No. It's about money, power, recognition.
Right.
And you want to talk about a decaying dynasty? It's the NCAA, all right? So.
Yeah. So I just had to get that off my chest. But predictions, things you're looking for, Mississippi State, Southeast, Louisiana. And unfortunately, this puts Mississippi State in a tough spot because they need all the help they can get at tight end because they didn't have one when Zach Arnett took over. So it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, and Mississippi State, I'm looking for a few things. Obviously, I don't believe it's going to be a ball game, but you got Will Rogers. You don't need to see too much from him, but I'd like to see him in this new system.
Yeah.
I don't want them to come out with a vanilla style playbook here. They're obviously got a new coach, new staff. Let's see what it looks like, man. Let's play with it, at least for a quarter, And I think if they do that, then all of a sudden Mississippi State's got a 21 score lead.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me here. Now, Coach has been out several times telling us how good this quarterback is and how good the backup quarterback is. But he's also been reminded for the last 8 months that he is a first-time coach, head coach, and are you sure you know what to do with your hands kind of thing, you know? It's
right.
Every stupid question that comes out of media's mouth these days is like, well, you know, what about timeouts? Have you learned how to, you know, it's like, yes, we get it. He's first-time coach, but I think there's a little chip on Coach's shoulder that he wants to come out and prove to everybody that he belongs not only as a head coach, but a head coach in the SEC. And you do that by putting shit teams like this away, but you also do it, you know, in big fashion. People, nobody's talking about Mississippi State. They can be if you come out here and Will Rogers has 400 yards passing. You know what I'm saying? They will be if he comes out here and they got 3 or 4 touchdowns. So
yeah,
I expect a barn burner here, and I don't think we're going to have a huge drop off on defense. Don't be surprised if Louisiana doesn't sneak 1 or 2 in, but I've got them winning pretty easily here. 42, Southeast Louisiana 14.
Oh. Yeah.
Are you looking for anything? I mean, really? This game.
Mike Wright.
Because
that's my big one. I want to see how to utilize them, and they probably don't want to give away too much in this one, but that I want to see how the offensive line translates from playing in Mike Leach's air raid to a significantly different offense. Not that I think it'll be a huge problem, particularly against Southeast Louisiana, but that'll be something I see. I want to see how much Mississippi State runs the ball. Yeah. After years and years of being an air raid and throwing it all over the yard. And, you know, they're not going to go radically different because I think that'd be foolish.
Yeah.
Because the personnel still probably suits them to throw it more than running the ball. So I kind of want to see that. And I know this will probably piss you off because you're tired of Zach Arnett. You know you're a head coach your first time shit. But I want to see how he handles some situations, like near the goal line. Does he go for it on 4th down? And
no, that's good.
You know, the things he's got to solve there, and I want to see if he's Mike Leach was super, super aggressive on 4th down. Like we saw, I think it kind of cost him the LSU game. I wish he didn't go for it as many times. I want to see if that is Zach Arnett like yet. You know, particularly against a team like this, you would think you could be a lot more aggressive and it not matter. But I'll just be looking at little things like that, little decisions. There's not going to be many in a game of this caliber to where Zach Arnett's got to show something, but I will have a keen eye on all that because he's never done it. Yeah. And again, we're not going to learn a ton from Southeast Louisiana. But, yeah, and you said Will Rogers. I really want to see that, some of the weapons he's got to work with, how that all fits together. But one thing Mississippi State has been lacking, and Kevin Barbay, the new offensive coordinator, specializes in, explosive passing plays.
Yeah.
How many explosive passing plays? This is an opponent where you think you could get at least 1 a quarter.
Right.
And I'm talking 30 or longer yard receptions against Southeast Louisiana. I want to see 6 minimum. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. Right.
But I would love to see this as the high scoring game of the week. You know what I'm saying? Because again, everybody's put them on the shelf. Don't worry about Mississippi State. They're not going to be a threat this year. Mm-hmm. Coach doesn't even. Somebody asked him, "What are you doing about halftime adjustments during the game? Are you going to be able to?" It's like, dude was a defensive coordinator. You know, you don't think there was adjustments during the game that he made? So he can make an adjustment. He's got plenty of coaching, lineage around him there.
Right.
Plenty of people to pick their brains at. They'll be fine. But yeah, let's see Mississippi State score the most points this week.
But I didn't even tell you my score, 42-14. So
hey, are you copying me?
No, I promise. I got mine written down in advance, but I think they blow them out. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of blowouts and great deals and all that, Shane.
You notice I trimmed up, didn't you, just for this ad read?
We got to let the audience know we're brought to you by MyBookie. Head on over to mybookie.ag today. Put in that promo code, that SEC, THAT-SEC, and they're willing to give you a 50% initial deposit bonus all the way up to $1,000 if you create a new account over at MyBookie. We already got Shane's lock of the week.
Just lock it down.
Lock it down. Fade it is what you really need to do.
Hey.
And get my lock has not yet been released. It's coming up, but it's a guaranteed winner. So head on over to MyBookie. Promo code that SEC. There's a link in the show notes if you're listening back on this, and that will really, really helps the show out. So take advantage of that. We got Manscaped, Shane, as always.
Yeah.
And I could tell you manscaped it up today, brother. You're looking good.
Zoom in on that.
Yeah. I manscaped myself. Head on over to manscaped.com. Put in promo code SEC. Get 20% off your entire order. They sent us over the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. 2 of them, actually. And it's an outstanding product. This will last you for years and years and years. Outstanding gift idea. Might as well get ahead on the Christmas season or birthdays, what have you. Head on over to manscaped.com. Put in that promo code SEC, 20% off your entire order and free shipping, including free international shipping. And, Shane, we're also brought to you by Prize Picks. I already gave out 2 winners this week, Shane. Ricky Pershaw over and Trevor Etienne over. Get on over there at Prize Picks. Put in that promo code SEC. They'll give you a 100% instant deposit match over at prizepicks.com, up to $100. And Shane, if you do a double whammy like I just did, throw 20 on it, they'll give you 60 if it hits today. And it's going to hit. Ricky Pershaw, Trevor Etienne, go with both the overs. They're low numbers over at prizepicks.com. Same promo code SEC. Please take advantage of these sponsorship opportunities. Help the podcast stay independent for life. Speaking of being independent for life, Shane, how about...
Please pay these prices, and please pay no more.
They have Georgia Bulldogs, is what I was going to say. Shane, again, we don't have a spread. UT Martin, #1 in the country, hosting. They got a night game. That's when you know you're the champ, Shane. When you're paying UT Martin and you get a night game in the SEC, because the rest of the league, they're kicking your ass to noon or 11 a.m. Central Time, but not the Dogs, Shane. 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 Central, ESPN and SEC Network Plus, 80 degrees. It's going to be beautiful there in Athens. We do not have a point spread again for this. So what's your thoughts on a score? What do you be looking for from them Dogs in this matchup?
Well, I wanted to lead with this because I thought about the Dogs this morning, and I can't remember what I was listening to, but again, they were talking about Alabama. Alabama is going to win in Alabama is going to the college football playoffs.
Can you believe that?
And then I thought for a second. I was like, is Georgia being disrespected? I mean, I know it sounds crazy. #1 team in the nation, 2 national championships, but you yourself got LSU winning it all. Mm-hmm. Everybody's talking about Alabama. Nobody wants to say that because that's what they're saying. The running back room's thin. We got a new quarterback. Blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
All these reasons why Georgia has no shot to go three back. And I'm like, is the Bulldogs being disrespected, Mike?
Yep. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I would argue to say that they're one of the most disrespected programs in the country. Not one team in the SEC wants to play them.
Nope.
But not a lot of talking heads out there got them winning it all. So, Mike, how do you get the respect back? You go back and you just do what Georgia's good at doing.
Yep.
Kicking ass on offense and defense. This is not going to be a game, clearly, but I am interested because there are going to be some new faces and there's going to be a lot of youth on this program to get some shots here. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some mistakes being made, but out of all of the teams that debut this week, I think you're going to see the least amount of mistakes from this one right here. Georgia's going to, I mean, look at the spring game alone. We watched all these spring games, and some of them were tough. Yeah. Tough watch.
Yeah.
Not Georgia. Georgia looked good on both sides.
They looked at midseason form in the spring, Shane. It was incredible. You know what?
No, seriously. So, well, without further ado, Mike, I really do think Kirby doesn't want to, blow the doors off of him here, but it still manages to happen anyway. Georgia 45, UT Martin 0.
Ooh, buddy.
They don't even cross the 50-yard line, Mike. Don't even cross the 50.
Talk about disrespect, 45-0. Why do you hate them Dogs, Shane?
You don't think that's enough points? You don't think it's enough?
Shane, if I could, I'd lock this damn game up. There's no spread for it that I'm aware of. Otherwise, I would have. But come on, man. It's the Dogs. It's a glory time down there. I mean, like I said, they're getting night games even though they're playing FCS. I mean, it's incredible down there. Kirby's got them boys thinking everybody hates them, and TSU's going to whoop her ass. And I don't think anyone said that, but I'm sure
it's in the locker room.
South Carolina's going to whoop her at Missouri. Missouri gave you a game. All that's being said down there. Everybody's picking Alabama. It's funny. People are saying, "Oh, you see Nick Saban? He's out there smiling and all this shit." The man that's smiling is Kirby over there because all these picks coming in for Alabama and all this. So, yeah, I'm going to have my eye on Carson Beck, how he does. Again, similar things we've said about some of these other games. It's not like there's going to be massive takeaways from UT Martin.
Right.
Because I can't imagine in the second half it's a competitive game and Carson Beck's got to make a key throw to win the game or anything like that. But just want to see how efficient he is in the Mike Bobo system with 2 new offensive tackles, what they do at running back with a couple guys banged up. I mean, these are like minor issues we're talking about here. So give me them dogs, Shane. 60, UT Martin. They kick a field goal as time expires to not get shut out. So I got a 57-point win for them dogs.
I was going to go 49-0, but then I was like, well, he's wanting to see what that kicker's got in him, so they're going to kick a field goal in there somewhere. So that's why I went with the 45.
Okay, I believe you. All right, next one, Shane. New Mexico at number 23, Texas A&M. Aggies favored by 38 points. Massive spread there. New Mexico, 2-10 last year. 48.5 is the over-under. This game kicks off 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central on ESPN, another nationally televised. Mark Jones and Lewis Reddick on the call. I'm a big fan of Lewis Reddick. But this is something to monitor here, Shane. Game time kickoff.
Yeah.
Temperature, 101 degrees.
Jeez Louise.
Ooh, so who you got in this one? A&M, New Mexico.
Oh, man. I can't. This is probably one of the ones I'm looking forward to most, just because. What's Bobby doing? Is he the guy? Or is this the same old Jimbo with a different puppet on his hand? I want to see. I want to just walk, because I think that's what this game is. I don't think it's a football game.
Yeah.
But there are some questions that we're going to get answered, and mainly is, how does this offense look? Are we going to have some up-tempo, fast-paced, 5-wide, I don't know if we're going to get that or not, but I'm expecting a high-flying offense, and I don't want to see a conservative style. And Jimbo, I hate Jimbo now. I'm going to be honest with you.
You were giving me shit for talking down.
I know. I like the guy, but he's pissed me off too many times.
Oh, gotcha.
And if he comes out vanilla with this team, I'm going to be pissed off again.
Yeah.
So I'm like borderline. Maybe I shouldn't hate. Hate's a strong word. Shouldn't hate anybody, but
disappointed.
Very disappointed. But you finally named your quarterback, thank God. Mm-hmm. And if Connor comes out here and just takes off, just scoring points at will, and puts everybody at ease that this season's going to be fine, then I'll put him back on the list. But right now, we've gotten hurt so many times by Jimbo Fisher down there at Texas A&M. I can't put money on this one. How many points they got to get? 38? Golly. Right now, can you say they're going to get 38 points, 101 degrees against New Mexico? No, I'm not doing that. So I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, but I think we've got Texas A&M winning.
Yeah.
I got it 41-10, but think about that for a second. Pause for a second. 31. Okay, I've got them beating them by 31 points. I was about to say
this is live. I can't pause.
Yeah. This is why I pause. Like, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not worried.
Right.
But I am a little reserved. I have to see a couple of games from them before I'm putting a mortgage payment on it.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy. Big Aggie, he says cousin Shane just got dropped from the Texags Christmas card list.
Man, I tell you, I want to believe in this program. I wanted to believe in them last year. I definitely want to believe into this year. I don't know how many times I've got to say it. They've got the program. They've got the pieces in place, and it's funny because you always say this team, for the longest time I was saying this team can go only as far as Connor will allow them, but I don't think that's the case. I think he'll go just as far as Jimbo allows it.
Yeah.
And if he loosens up the reins a little bit and becomes a total property manager here, he doesn't got to run it all. He's just, he doesn't have to do it individually. Just let these coordinators cook. They're going to win a lot of games, and they're going to win them big. But if he's micromanaging, no, they're going to have close games and may even lose a few that they shouldn't.
I didn't know you hated Jimbo.
I did say. I guess I did say it, but it's close. I'm riding the fence.
Yeah, I got you.
And I'll tell you the answer here Sunday.
Well, I'll tell you why you're wrong, Shane.
Like if he pisses me off, Mike, I'm out. I'm shitting on Texas A&M come Sunday.
Yeah.
Like if this is a 10-point game.
Yep.
Against come on, man. Just kick the shit out of them for crying out loud.
I'll tell you what, Shane, they're about to.
Okay.
Lock of the week over here.
Come on
Texas A&M 55, New Mexico 9.
Yeah.
I think they're going to just clobber these fools here.
Yeah.
And I think because I think they're out to prove. They got to be pissed off, man. And you know the one that really won me over was, and this is kind of sad to say because they only won 5 games last year, but it was the finale.
Yeah.
And they could have packed it in. They could have quit on Jimbo. Had they got their ass kicked against LSU, they should have fired Jimbo.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They beat a top 5 LSU with nothing on the line for them, and LSU was facing a national championship potentially.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not national championship, but a playoff, bid. They were done with the playoff the day they lost to A&M. So I don't know. That showed me something there. I just love the moves. I think they're out to prove something. They're making Jimbo made the right move bringing in Bobby. Jimbo's made the right move bringing in Connor Wigman. He could have handled this a lot better. He could have just from day one, Bobby's calling the plays, I'm hands off.
Yeah.
That would have been a little bit better. But I don't care what he says in a press conference. I care what he actually does. And all behind the scenes, this is Bobby Petrino's show. I think they're going to light their ass up. 55-9, lock of the week. Texas A&M wins big.
Anything else you're looking for? I mean,
that defensive line, I just want to see them dominate.
Yeah.
Because they got all these players, and they've yet to dominate. Now, they're young.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not quite fair, but that's what's going to determine whether they can truly compete for an SEC championship this fall. It's not the quarterback. It's not Jimbo. It's not Bobby. It's that defensive line.
Yeah.
They step their game up. That's the most important position group in all of college football is a defensive line.
Right.
And they've got the pieces to win the national championship if they put it all together.
Are you worried about any quarterback controversy here? Max Johnson because Texas A&M's deep.
Yeah.
So their team 2 should still steamroll, this program. So if Max comes in and just looks really damn good, is there?
I think it's more Connor.
Yeah.
If Connor struggles,
okay,
then I'm worried.
Okay. He better not struggle. I don't want to hate Jimbo,
Right. All right, next game on the docket, Shane, quickly here. Alabama A&M at Vanderbilt, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central, SEC and ESPN Network Plus. 86 degrees, no spread for this one.
Yeah.
But you got a score here for Vanderbilt, they're getting 2 night games, brother. 2 night games in a row. For this, I guess they don't want the construction crew working in the day. I don't know.
I don't know. That's smart. Yeah. See, when they get done building for the day, then they come over at night. Yeah. Brother, this one here, don't know much about Alabama A&M. No research at all. This is pure gut here. But I will say I did watch the Vanderbilt. A little disappointed. Week 0. They have an opportunity to really bounce back and prove us that that it was kind of a fluke. And you do that by this offensive line. If this offensive line comes out and plays remotely like they did against Hawaii, this is going to be a ball game. Doesn't matter who they're going against. Mm-hmm. If Swan's running for his life. So I got Vanderbilt winning 31-14. But I've got it a little bit closer, mainly because I've got to be convinced this offensive line is just not an absolute train wreck. And they got weapons. Vandy's got weapons. And if they could keep finding those playmakers, they'll have no problem scoring points.
Right.
But, again, there's going to be mistakes made if your quarterback's running for his life.
Great point by Danny. Shane, if Vandy wins, they will continue their reign atop the SEC standings.
Man, 2-0. Could you imagine?
2-0, brother.
Put it on a shirt.
But yeah, I was a little disappointed in what we saw from Vanderbilt last weekend. So they could have a big bounce back, but we almost have identical score here, Shane. Vanderbilt 30, Alabama A&M 10.
Yeah.
Again, Alabama A&M's they've got Michigan State's leading rusher last year. He plays for them now.
Yeah.
So they're a little dangerous on offense. And even though we're playing Alabama A&M, I don't think Vanderbilt yet has the depth to where, like, in the second half they'll be kicking ass. Mm-hmm. Like, it may be 30-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
And I could see Alabama A&M winning the second half 10-0 or something like that. So I think it'll be a comfortable win. I don't know what the spread possibly would be, but I would almost lean Alabama A&M if there was a spread here.
Yeah. They need to anchor down that scoreboard. That's what they need.
You've been sitting all day.
I was like, I hope I don't butcher this joke, you know.
All right, how about Middle Tennessee, Shane, at Alabama? Mm-hmm. Crimson Tide favored 38.5 points. Over-unders 52 total points. Game kicks off 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central on the SEC Network with Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kubik, the Saturday night crew over there at SEC Network that do such a good job. 78 degrees at kickoff.
Yeah.
Who do you like in the ball game?
Barely. I like Alabama, just barely. But the reason I like Alabama in this game is because of their defense. I think they shut down MTSU. They don't get anything going there. But just like some of these other programs, they've got some question marks over there that they got to work out, and this is a perfect team to do that. I'm looking at the U quarterback room. There's going to be a couple played here, even though Nick doesn't want to admit a multiple quarterback situation here. But what does it look like when the lights are on? There's going to be some questions answered. But one thing that I am sure of is that Alabama's got one of the best running back rooms in the country. We're going to get to see a lot of that. And, again, very, very few mistakes on that defense. The problem I'm having, Mike, is just spread. I'm not a fan of that. I think that's just a little too much. So give me Bama 42, MTSU 6.
Oh.
Yeah. 2 field goals.
Yeah, 42-6. Imagine that. We're still saying, well, it's close. The spread's going to be close there. So
the spread will be close. And, and if they do get it, it's going to be like at the last minute, you know.
How interested are you, though? I mean, we've been talking about it. Everybody's been talking about it for too damn long about these Alabama quarterbacks. We'll see how many they play, but they'll probably play 3 of them in this football game, you know. So the fact that they're likely to do that, that kind of makes it, unless maybe one guy just runs with it, then maybe they just stick with one guy. But even against MTSU, maybe that's the real question for this football game, Shane, is who takes the most snaps, and do we just stick with a guy? Based on how close apparently it is, I don't think they can just play the whole game with one quarterback. I think they're going to have to do multiple. But whoever it is, man, you got to get them ready for the next game at Texas. You know what? I mean, that's critical.
Yeah. No, and that's why I don't think we see 3.
Yeah.
I think we've got it narrowed down to 2. I think it's a 1A, 1B situation. It's probably tight, but I would imagine I don't know about you. I haven't heard. I would imagine it's Jalen coming out here taking the steps. But again, it will be his job to lose. So if he comes out and performs, then we have no more quarterback controversy. We got our dude going into Texas. But I think the last thing you want is 1A to be struggling, 1B to come in and do a little bit better, but not take. We just want somebody to take control. And with MTSU, there's no reason that this should be any trouble, any problems at all. So that's the only reason that I'm afraid to put a little money on this one, because sometimes when you're trying out new quarterbacks, you're going to find yourself in the end zone a little more than usual. So you may want to take Bama in the points here, but me, I'm going to give pause because I still think we're going to have a little bit of conservative, knowing that Texas is the following week.
Right. Well, what scares me, Shane, is we're both taking MTSU in the points. So we almost guaranteed Alabama's going to do it. Yeah. I'm going Alabama 45, MTSU 13. So a little bit more than you. So that's where I'm at.
You hate Bama, so I mean, that doesn't surprise.
Of course, everybody knows that. All right, how about the night game, Shane? This is the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
South Carolina, North Carolina in Charlotte. North Carolina remains a 2.5-point favorite. That's stunning to me. North Carolina 9-5 last season. The over/under 64.5 total points.
A lot of points.
7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central on ABC. Sean McDonough and our guy Greg McElroy calling the game. 80 degrees. And how about this, Shane? College game day. Darius Rucker, celebrity pick. He's a big Gamecock there.
Yeah, we know.
North Carolina leads the all-time series. I didn't realize how many times these two have played. 35-20 with 4 ties. But South Carolina won the last matchup, and they beat their ass. 38-21 in the bowl game. They were like a 10-point dog in that game, too.
Yeah.
Third time in a row, these two have met in Charlotte.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, too. A little update, though. Carolina receiver Tez Walker, another NCAA, so stupid. This guy transferred in. He's still not eligible. He's from Charlotte, returning home, but not eligible. That's retarded. Who you got in this game? South Carolina, North Carolina.
Oh, man. This is made out to be the game of the week,
right?
And rightfully so. I think we've got two of the best quarterbacks in the business going to be dueling here, and that's what we're expecting. Now, that's a lot of points week one. I will say out of all the bets I'm looking at, maybe the under as far as points. What is that, 60? What was it again?
64.5.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm going to go under on that one, but you know, the fact of the matter is we've got South Carolina coming out here, and this is their game. This is their moment, Mike, to let everyone know that last year was not a fluke, that Spencer is legit, that we still got weapons out here on this field. Juice is going to come out potentially healthy, I would imagine. That's what everybody's saying. So
yeah,
hopefully he's going to have a hell of a game, but to just pencil in an easy victory for the Gamecocks, not going to happen. I mean, in fact, you're the underdogs coming in here because you're going against arguably the best quarterback in the country. And I would argue that because he was not the best quarterback on that field. So give me South Carolina with the upset early this year, 28. I didn't quite force down the hog to this thing. 28, North Carolina, 24.
Ooh, man, that's low scoring for this matchup, Shane.
Yeah, I don't think that, I really don't think it's going to be a high scoring game here.
Well, I know you don't respect Drake May, Shane.
I don't,
but I do. Freshman last year for North Carolina quarterback, 66% completion percentage.
Yeah.
4,321 yards, 38 touchdowns. Rushed for 707 touchdowns, set the North Carolina single season record for passing yards, completions, attempts. I mean, he's on fire, brother.
Oh, yeah.
They're saying he may be the top pick in the NFL draft.
Crown him.
He's awesome. But you know what, Shane? They ain't got a defense, brother. You know what, South Carolina? Everyone wants to make it quarterbacks. You know, it's a quarterback battle.
Yeah.
But what it really is Drake May against his South Carolina secondary.
Yeah.
And they're awesome. DQ Smith, Nick Amawari, Marcellus Dial, O'Doyle Fortune.
NFL talent.
Big time talent. I think that's the difference in this football game, Shane. South Carolina's defensive backs make one more play than the North Carolina defensive backs can do against Spencer, Rattler, and company, which they're saying Spencer Rattler's on another level. I want to see it. I think this is a high-scoring game, Shane, and I think South Carolina gets the ball last. I think they get the final score, and this may be the start of a Spencer Rattler Heisman campaign. I hope he wins the Heisman now that I put my list out. South Carolina 38, North Carolina 35. I think this is the game of the weekend in college football. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, man. It's going to be pumped up, man. And they're going to, I mean, you got Mac Brown over there.
Yep.
You remember him? 99 years old, going for his 100th win. I mean, this is it.
Yeah, you're right. He's at 99.
99. They're going to be talking him up as one of the all-time greatest coaches of ever college football. And I think when you walk away from this game, I think you have a new perspective on Shane Beamer and company. Okay, they've got a rough September. A lot of doubters, myself included. with them Gamecocks the first September of the year. So
Yeah.
you could put all that to rest coming out here, beating a ranked North Carolina team. And if you do it by multiple scores, then all of a sudden you're looking at that schedule saying, hey, 4-1's possible right out of the gate. So I don't know, man. This is going to be an epic matchup. I wish we were there, and I wish it was somewhere else.
Home and home.
Yeah, obviously Columbia missed one. Could you imagine the atmosphere at that stadium? Playing at night, dude, it would be electric. So instead, we're at the Bank of America. And, yeah.
Hey, last thing, because we're going a little long here, but
Yeah.
We're doing Texas and Oklahoma this year. We're not picking scores because we're not going to bullshit the audience. We can't go up and down the depth chart and tell you all this. But anything that you're looking for from Rice at Texas, let's start with that one. That's a big time game. Weather 102 degrees. It's going to be hot as hell in Texas. Anything you're going to be looking for, Sark, year 3, the week before they play Bama. Anything you got your eyes on for Texas?
Maybe up front. Offense, defensive line.
Yeah.
I want to see.
That's what I keep hearing. The offensive line
Yeah.
is really a difference than past Texas hype teams.
Right. That's what I want to see because they've been building that program to prepare to go to the SEC. And we're going to know after this game if this looks like an SEC offensive line. It's not just the stats; it's how they perform while they're out there. So that's where I'm looking with Texas, just some big uglies because they're going to have some. They're going to have some other big uglies in front of them next Saturday.
Yeah, for me, I want to see if this offense is legit.
Yeah,
because they're saying the tight end is the second best tight end behind Brock Bowers. All these great receivers,
the wide receivers.
So
yours is this is the gear.
We need to see if that's legit or not. And kind of the same with Oklahoma, but to me, it's the defense.
Yeah,
because they had a losing record last year. Brent Venables, I thought we were getting a great defense with this guy. Again, I get it. Lincoln Riley coaching changed, and they were never good on defense under Lincoln Riley. But this is year 2 under Brent Venables. Arkansas State, they're a 35-point favorite. I want to see a damn near shutout here against Butch Jones and company.
Damn, Georgia, Oklahoma. How great would that have been? Huh? Butch Jones
maybe in the
getting
playoff.
his ass kicked. That's going to be worth it. And it's right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Just to tune in to watch that, I'm in.
Yeah. Well, brother, you got anything else before we hop off the line and watch these football games?
No, I'm pumped up, man. Ready to get off here and see if I'm right, because I'm feeling hot, man. That obviously the Vanderbilt got me last week, but I feel like this is the week. I'm going to put my parlays together. I'm feeling pretty damn strong here. But, hey, the waiting's over. Talking season's over. We got some college football, so let's jump off here and watch it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate all the cousins out there for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. See you guys. Go Vols.